is not that he doesn't say. If he says 100 things, maybe about 75 of them are probably true, or there's some truth in it. But he's so egotistical and arrogant to me, like Kyrie, where it seems to be about them and not about whatever. Doing Kanye.
That's what I was hitting to.
Yeah, I'm not doing no Kanye where I'm just making some false shit or just saying some shit out of my ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm doing the real investigation. You know?
Yeah, speaking of Kanye, since you brought him up, which I was going to wait, but since you did that, we'll just segue right into that. You know what I'm saying? What's your take on Kanye and his stance and everything that he has said? Do you believe that he is anti-Semitic, and do you believe what he's saying is...
I think that some of the stuff, there's truth in it, like the Kyrie thing, and there's some, factual truth to some of it. I don't know, because of the work I do, you got to be careful what you say about certain groups, because they're very powerful in the industry that I work in. And so you got to be smart. And I do think, the problem that I have with Kanye is not that he doesn't say. If he says 100 things, maybe about 75 of them are probably true, or there's some truth in it. But he's so egotistical and arrogant to me, like Kyrie, where it seems to be about them and not about whatever. And they don't seem to have, they got too many yes people around them. They don't have no OG or somebody be like, well, hey, why don't you say it this way or whatever? And, I can't sit in Kanye's shoes. I'm not that man. But I will say, one of the funniest things not funniest, but one of the worst things I think that ever happened to celebrity was social media. Because when I worked at the Source, or when I was writing the LA Times, in order for you to talk to a celebrity, you got to go to a publicist. You can't do all of this. Like when I would do a review of the albums in the Source, it come out 2 months later, there was a wall between you and the celebrity. The celebrity couldn't just start talking. And so I think that social media has, unfortunately, hurt people like Kanye and Kyrie, because they just start talking without the right factual situations behind them. And both of those brothers, brilliant brothers, and I'm all for Black strength and talking about things, but it seems to be an arrogance with them both. And it's so funny, I've been debating this with so many people, because again, I think Kanye is brilliant. I think he's whatever, but I think he's an egomaniac and a guy who is a bipolar guy. He needs to take, I have friends who are bipolar. He obviously needs medication, and just the way he posts and does it, and just so erratic.
So manic.
Yeah, and I think that he misses his mother. I think he has too many yes people around him. I have some people that I know who work with him, and and nobody's saying, hey, that's a dumbass decision. Right. The homie, saying, yo, bro, don't do that.
Yeah. I'll ask you this same question I asked Yuck. So do you think that, so you see what Kyrie, all he did was post the book, the Hebrews to the Negroes, right? And then one could pose the question, why isn't Amazon and Jeff Bezos being held to the same standard, being that they sell the book? Right. So does that make what they're saying altogether kind of true, the argument? I think everybody's sort of, I guess the right way to say it is implicated. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but I'm going to use this analogy, and I know this is like the right thing to say. It may not be politically correct, but when you're the pimp, you set the terms. When you're the hoe, you don't set the terms. So when you're Amazon, you're here, right here, and you can do whatever, and the money and the power that you have. And when you're just sort of somebody just talking about that, and as an athlete, now Kyrie is such a famous person, is already polarizing. People can't wait for you to do something. So you should already be on top of that. And so I think that motherfuckers can't wait to cancel you. And if you're Kyrie, who people don't necessarily whatever, I just think you got to be smart, right? Because that just cost him hundreds of thousands of dollars, publicity, millions probably, because of all his deals. And I'm not saying that you should be afraid of Nike or capitalism, but at the same time, you still got to be smart about how you move. That's the only thing I'll say. And I think that Kanye and both Kyrie have not been wise in the way that they presented things. Right. Do you think that being smart is basically playing your position and being that you have influence and you have resource, instead of causing a stir and just talking shit, more or less just get busy and make the necessary changes? I'm not sure. I don't really have an answer on that. I just know that it's how you present things. If it was presented as a dialogue or whatever between, talking about Black people, and there's a connection between Hebrews and, and Jews. I mean, it's historically, I'm not saying whatever. I don't know all the whole facts, but there is some factual part to what he's saying that's not true. And so, I just think you got to be wise about the moves you make. And I always say it's chess, not checkers. Yeah.
I'm holding court, standing trial. Why ain't I see you round back when I was down? Karma's on the way. What goes around comes around. Karma's on the way. There's nothing you could do now. You gotta pay.